Hi everybody, and welcome back to Cityhare.com, and I'm the Everyday Chef. The holiday season is upon us, so we're going to do something today just to start off our holiday baking. I've got some brownies here already made, and we're going to put a good topping on them to turn them into a holiday favorite. I guarantee you they're going to be eaten fast, so you might want to make a lot of these. All we're going to do is take the brownies and put a layer of mint frosting on top of it, and then on top of that we're going to put another layer of chocolate on top of that. It's really easy to do, so we'll get started. In a pot here, I've already put 6 tablespoons of butter, and add to that 1 cup of chocolate chips. I'm using milk chocolate chips here, just because they have a little bit more of a sweetness to them. And we're going to melt that over a medium heat. And the trick to this, you want to stop just as soon as you see that everything has melted together. And you need to keep stirring it continuously so that nothing burns on the bottom. So you don't want it to scald. Now I have my butter here at room temperature, so it's going to melt a little bit quicker. I just keep stirring it up right with the chocolate. And then we'll make our mint frosting. The chocolate is just about melted. I can still see some butter and a few chocolate chips left. So I'm just going to let that cook real quick while I grab another bowl. And the reason why I'm going to put this into the bowl is if you put the chocolate on top of the mint frosting and it's still too hot, then it will melt all of the mint frosting. So you want to be sure that you give this plenty of time to cool. And the time that it takes to make the mint frosting should be plenty of time. Alright, our chocolate has completely melted. We'll turn our burner off. And we're just going to transfer this right over here into our bowl. And let that begin cooling. Be sure we get it all out of there. You don't want to let any chocolate go to waste. Now, if after you make the mint frosting it's still not cool enough, and I'll tell you how to do that in a minute, you can stir it up to let air get into it and incorporate with it. We'll put this in the sink. And now we'll get right into our mint frosting. And this is really super easy. I've already measured out here, I have 2 cups of confectioner's sugar or 10x sugar or powdered sugar. And also 1 stick of butter. Just put all that butter in there. Now I've let the butter soften. It just makes it all the more easier to mix it all together. And then we're going to add 4 tablespoons of creme de menthe. Now you can get a non-alcoholic creme de menthe in the grocery store, or if you use the regular creme de menthe, there's really no difference, just the alcohol content. But the flavor is still the same. So we'll call that 2.5 tablespoons. And we'll give it just a little bit more. There we go. We'll cap that off. Put the spoon back in our sink here. Now we're going to take our electric hand mixer and we're just going to mix that all up. If your butter is soft enough, you can do it by hand. There's nothing wrong with that. I've done that before as well. Or if you have a regular stand mixer. Just remember when you do this to start off on a very low speed. If you start off real high, it's going to send powdered sugar all over the place. And although it might be funny, it's not very easy to clean up sometimes. And always be sure you put it down in the mixture. See, I got flour all over the place. And we're just going to mix this up until it's nice, all incorporated, no butter chunks left. Okay, so we have our mint mixture mixed well. Still have some powdered sugar on the side, but that's okay. Go ahead and drop the forks out of here so we can clean them off. We're just going to take it and just put it right on top, just spread it right on top of our brownies. Now if some of the powdered sugar on the side of the bowl drops in, just, you know, you can stir it up. Make sure you get it all in there. And this doesn't have to be perfect, not by any means whatsoever, because you're going to have that layer of chocolate just go right down on top of it. So just spoon it out. Just throw it all on there, right on top of the brownies. And these are just regular brownies. Sometimes we'll use some that have walnuts in them or whatever. Then we'll just take it and spread it around. Make sure all the brownies have some of the mint on it. You don't have to really worry about it being even either. And there's our mint icing. And then on top of that, we're going to add our chocolate. Clean up a little. And the chocolate, like I said earlier, if it's too hot, it's going to melt the mint icing. And the best way that I have found to tell if it's warm enough or cool enough that you can put it on there is if you take your finger and just dip it into the chocolate, and you have to sit back a little and think, is it warm or is it cool? Just have that second where you can't decide if it's hot or cold. That's a good temperature. If you don't really know what I'm talking about, try it and trust me, you'll get there. And if it's still a little hot and it's just barely warm, you kind of had to think a little bit about it right there to see if it was warm. So I think it's at a good temperature, and we're just going to pour it right on top. And then to spread it, really easy. Just tilt your tray around and be sure that all the mint is covered. Nothing to it. This is a real holiday favorite for a lot of my friends. Now once you've done this, once you've put the chocolate and the mint on, you want to put it in the refrigerator to let the chocolate and the mint cool. And give it probably at least 2 hours at a minimum to let it cool, because otherwise when you take it out of the refrigerator and cut it, the mint will still be kind of gooey and it could get a little bit messy. So we're going to throw these in the refrigerator. And I already have some that's already ready to be cut. And I have them wrapped in a plastic wrap. Now these have been in the refrigerator for probably about 5 hours now. Made these earlier today. So we're going to go ahead and cut them up. Put them on a plate here. Let's see how they look. And those should be ready to come out of there. There we go. That's what we're going to have right there. I'm just going to plate these up, and we're going to enjoy a few of them. And that's really all there is to it. Just simple brownies with a mint and chocolate icing, and I guarantee it's going to be a holiday favorite. Everybody, thanks for watching The Everyday Chef. If you have any questions or if there's something that you would like for me to make, feel free to email me at the email address listed below. And remember, the secret ingredient to any recipe is a dash of imagination.